just passed a $16 million budget for a new jail here in Iredell County. And the thing that's so hard about that is the way they decide that is they look at third grade boys and see how many of these children in 8 to 10 years will need a spot in this jail. And so they look at my boys. They look at our little guys and say they don't have home support, they're not regular attenders of school, their grades are bad, so we need to plan a place for them. And we could run for 50 years on $16 million. So it saddens me that as a community we have to invest in that instead of investing here, but we can change that.
If we drive our bus down through the certain areas of town here and we say, hey, jump in, we're gonna have Bible study, we're gonna make you do more schoolwork, nobody's gonna get on our bus. Not one kid's gonna get on my bus. But if we pull that same bus down through the bad areas of town and we say, hey guys, we're gonna play some ball and we're gonna wrestle and we're gonna go out, we're gonna make you faster, we're gonna make you stronger, and we're gonna feed you, and every one of them will get on our bus. The football, the baseball, the basketball, the wrestling has turned into more of the bait for our ministry is the way I would describe it. And what that has done is it teaches the kids a good work ethic the minute they come through the door. If you can't pay attention, you can't be good at anything. You know, so the first thing we teach kids is discipline through paying attention. You know, once you start paying attention, then we can start teaching you. And so they learn that on the sports field, which then we tie into Bible studies and we tie into academic.
The athletics at Power Cross are like life. If you don't show up, you lose your spot. If you don't work hard, you lose your spot. If you put out maximum effort and you listen well and you apply yourself to your fullest, then you are rewarded on the backside. So we think the athletics are a great connection to a kid to learn how to do a job schedule, how to do a college schedule, how to do a life schedule. But mostly we really try to teach them that hard work does pay off. Our discipleship program is daily sitting down with the kids and teaching them how to walk with Jesus. So it's important for us that if these kids are going to stay connected and stay on the right path, that they have to know that God has to be in front of them on that path. And the way that works is that you literally sit down and make that decision every single day that today you're going to follow Jesus.
I didn't know God at all when I wasn't here. And since I've been here, I found God. That's what matters the most.
Academically, every single day that they're here, they have the opportunity to have someone help them with their homework. We have great community volunteers that come in and volunteer with us, and also some teachers that work with us each afternoon that know specifically what the kids need to be working on. Most of our kids are actually well capable of doing their work. They just have a low expectation set before them. So a lot of times they just really need direction and guidance. They need someone to know that it matters, that we care what they're doing with their academics. And then those kids that are far behind, we try and help them bridge the gap that they have in their education. Then, helping them set a standard that, 70 is not so great, that you can get a 90 if you applied yourself with that. Kids that stay in Power Cross for at least 2 years or more thus far graduate from high school 100% of the time. That's nearly double the national average. We don't do anything miraculous to get those numbers. We just teach kids to be accountable for their decisions and teach them what making right decisions looks like. We serve an average of about 500 hot meals a week. We really like to show them an example of a family dinner. So they'll all come in with their team, which is pretty much their family. They'll sit down in the cafeteria. Coaches will sit with them, our volunteers sit with them, and they have family dinner. There's lots of studies that show that families that sit down to dinner every night have a higher success rate for being a productive family and a family that stays together. We try to nourish the kids literally, physically their body, but also with their mind and their soul, and we think that the food is a great way to reach into them and really impact their lives in multiple ways.
Like every day we eat, like every single day we come here we eat. And I think that that Coach Jeff and everybody at Power Cross thinks that's a blessing.
What I try for the boys is just to be a big brother, because most of them are just like me. They have their single kid, or they have a house full of women. And I, you know, we all understand that. But, you know, sometimes there's a need of another man. And like my life, I needed another man. I found Coach Jeff. So, I mean, he technically, you know, he's my father to me and to a lot of people.
Getting a kid to college is a major task. Being able to expose these kids to colleges on realistic levels so they could go and play and receive a scholarship is hundreds of days, literally a year, of taking kids to meet coaches, taking them to camps, scheduling trips. And we really want to make sure that we invest the time and effort we need in helping to cultivate this kid, have the opportunity to go to college, but also make sure that once they get there, they're prepared for it and that they're going to stay. When one of our boys gets into college, it's a unbelievably rewarding feeling. We get to hang a new face up on our alumni wall for the next generation of Power Cross kids to look at. We kind of look at that kid on the wall now and think we're, you know, maybe halfway there with what God has intended for us to do through their lives.
You know, it takes a community to raise a kid. You know, not just mom and dad can do it. And with today's statistics, with mom and dad not always being there, one of them's usually gone in most of the situations, you know, what we're able to do is we're able to fill that void, and, you know, these kids are able to come through, they're able to see what's going on and take that into their own home.
$1 at a time, a minute at a time, you know, a prayer at a time, we can make these kids be the guys that will build that prison, that will, you know, be chaplains in that prison, that might be the police officers there instead of being residents. So we have to really know that we can reshape our community. You just have to choose how you do it.